Stephen Daniel, musical engineer, Birmingham born and bred, and today he's our guest. This is Alex and the Message. Hello everyone, welcome to Alex and the Message. Today we've got an interesting guest with us as always. We've got Stephen Daniel. Say hello to the people.
Hello man, how you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So when did we first meet? It would have been, how long ago now? A couple of years back?
So at least two years?
At least 2 years, yeah, at least 2 years. We met in a part-time job that we'll get onto later on probably. But he's here today and we're going to get into some good chat as always. So first of all, I want to go right back to the beginning, 1991. The year you were born, obviously. So tell me a bit about your family. Were you the firstborn? Have you got any siblings? That kind of thing.
Well, I'm the youngest out of 5 siblings.
Jeez, okay.
I got 4 brothers, 1 sister.
Yeah.
Three brothers, 1 sister. That makes more
say,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't know when, but yeah.
I'm thinking what's going on there. Yeah. So 3 brothers, 1 sister. I'm the youngest.
All right, nice one. And whereabouts were you born?
Born in Birmingham, so Dudley Road Hospital, City Road Hospital now it's called.
Shout out to them.
Big up.
Sorted. And then were your family much into sort of creating and being a part of music?
My family were, I would say, not all of them are creatives, but one of my older brothers, he always loved music, always produced music, and I always used to love watching him and watching what he does and trying to understand what's going on. And it was always better. Obviously, it was always better than I was when I was young.
Yeah,
but then
not no more.
well.
For the listeners, yeah, he had a massive grin on his face. I'm telling you. Anyway, shoot.
Yeah, so it started from there really. I was quite young. I'm gonna say about 9, 10.
Okay.
And he went uni and he started doing producing and mixing and engineering, and I just got into it from there really.
Okay. Was there a moment where you was like, a definitive moment I should say, where you looked at what he was doing and you was like, now that's good, I want to do that? Can you remember anything?
No, not about that, but in terms of music in general, I remember, it's going to sound weird, but Ludacris released a song called Act a Fool.
Okay,
and,
I know that one, yeah.
And I remember listening to it, and I rewrote the chorus, just like, because it just says random stuff and it says Act a Fool, so I was like, yeah, I can do that, and I just rewrote the chorus, and I thought, this rap thing's easy, So then I started rapping from there, but I never had any intention of producing or engineering then. I was like, yo, I like doing this MC little rap thing.
Yeah.
So that's where it started in terms of music for me anyway.
Can you remember what it was? That might be going too far back in the memory, but could you actually remember sort of
the words?
Yeah. Nah, I bet you got them written down somewhere though.
It's probably on a slip of paper in my house somewhere. No clue. I had a lyric book, and I had like little scraps of paper that I just used to write random stuff on, and it's in a box somewhere hidden in my house. Yeah.
Tucked away somewhere. Alright, nice one. So that's sort of getting into it. So let's go to, you say that was around about 10 or so, that age when your brother sort of gave you a hint of inspiration, should we say.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk high school, man, because at high school there's lots of different influences going on in terms of music. I'm sure that had an impact on you. So talk about, what high school did you go to and what effect did it have musically on you?
Well, first of all, got to big up HYD, which is Holyhead School in Handsworth, is where I went for high school. To be fair, when I was at school, I wanted to study music, but then the music teacher left, so I didn't get the opportunity to actually study music at school.
So just to be clear, there was one music teacher at the school?
Well, there was 2, then 1 left the previous year, and then when it came to picking my options, the last one left.
Oh, jeez.
So then I didn't get to pick that, and then they got a new music teacher the year after I got my option.
Wow,
So
that's helpful, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Very helpful. Okay, so that was high school. So that was just about sort of what when it come to the teachers dropping out and things like that.
Mm.
Did anything happen in high school that you thought, okay, well that's somebody I'd like to work with maybe in the future from like a musical standpoint? So did any collaborations like start to form?
When I first went to high school, I met one guy who ended up being one of my close friends.
Yeah.
And like he was like, oh yeah, I write lyrics as well. And I was like, okay.
Is it just like that? I write lyrics as well.
Well, I don't know if it was so formal. It was literally just like, I think I was listening to music or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I just used to write lyrics. Like everyone in my year knew that I just wrote lyrics and stuff like that. And then I think I met him on a trip. Well, I say I met him. I knew him from school, but I actually like properly met him on a trip where we just like chilled for a bit, and then we was both writing lyrics, and we just said, yo, you know, let's actually like collaborate and actually chill. So he ended up being one of my best friends from then. And I had another friend from my primary school, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this MC thing as well. So it ended up being the three of us we used to just find instrumentals on the internet and just record through Audacity and just make little cheesy songs and stuff. So well, I say cheesy, they weren't bad, but looking back now, I think
I think every artist, when they first start out, it's not going to be as good as when 5 years down the line. Do you know what I mean? So whatever, you can have a few shit ones, can't you? Do you know what I mean? It's the way it goes.
As long as no one knows, you know what I mean.
Those will all be in the link in below description. If you want to find any of these songs, I shall find the links. There we go. Without Steve's permission. There we go. So that was high school. So what did it feel like, sort of leaving high school? Did you have plans to continue studying music and being involved with it after high school? How did that play out?
So I think when I got to year 10, year 11, I think I was pretty much solid in my head that I wanted to, in some way or shape or form, study music and follow like a music career to an extent. I always wanted to be a scientist for some reason.
A scientist?
Yeah, I was really good at science.
Which science?
Well, in my head I wanted it to be chemistry, but I wasn't the best at chemistry. Like I was okay, but I think like biology and physics I was a lot better in.
Oh yeah.
And then but when I went to college I was like, yeah, I don't actually enjoy this. So
that was like one of your subjects, like
I picked biology. Basically when I went to A levels I picked biology, music technology, geography and media studies.
Okay.
So
bit of a mix in it, that.
Yeah, because it was basically passions and versus what I was good at, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So and then when I started doing biology and stuff, I was like, yeah, you know what, like it's all right, but I'm not really enjoying it, and I didn't study as much as I probably should have done, and because of that, I didn't get the results that I probably should have done. But and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on music technology. But then I ended up sort of not being the best student and not getting the results that I wanted. So I ended up going back to college again, but a different college.
All right.
And I studied at Matthew Bolton College and got some better results musically. Good. But then when I went back to college to do music again, that's when I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm actually alright at this, you know. So that's when I think it was like cemented that I was gonna do something musical.
Yeah. Sweet, man. So was there something that you created then over that time? Again, maybe not, but a definitive moment that was like, okay, now I've got to a level where I'm even more impressed with where I've come from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was there anything, maybe one track or anything like that just?
I think the first one was probably when I produced the track, and because before we used to produce tracks and stuff from when I was about 13 or whatever, and me and my friends used to just like MC over it, but that was like between us, if that made sense.
Yeah.
But then I think I was about 15 when I produced the track for the first time, and then like a random person heard it and was like, I need to be on this track, and then like he MySpaced me.
MySpace, man. Wow.
We're going back a little bit.
We are, man.
Contacted me on MySpace and he was like, yeah, I heard this track, man. I'd love to be on it. So that was probably the moment where I was like, yeah, this like there's something here.
But
you know
other
what I mean?
people are giving you almost recognition for what you've done. Yeah.
So like the first time when someone was like, yeah, I want to be part of something that you've created. Like I've always had positive feedback in terms of stuff that I've put out there. So people were always like, yeah, that's nice, or that's good, or like, oh, I like this song, or I like that song. But it wasn't until someone was like, yeah, me personally, I want to be on this song.
That it was like an endorsement saying, yeah, it's on, like,
yeah. So
decent.
That's where it started for me anyway.
Okay, and again for the listeners, the grin this guy's got now in the reminiscing mode, honestly.
You know what it is though? I always grin, so
over anything.
All the time I've got a really big cheesy grin for no reason.
It's true. Alright, so you've realised that you can get recognition for things you put out there at this point. Who were some main influences around that time then, when you was realising, okay, well, I can get people to give me recognition for what I've done?
Yeah.
Were there anyone who sort of you listened to and that changed maybe your direction?
Well, the list is massive.
Here we go. We got time.
The list is absolutely massive, but I think when I was younger, I used to listen to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan. I used to listen to a lot of Ludacris, Biggie Smalls, Tupac, you know, all the regular people and stuff like that. But when I'm getting slightly older, I'm discovering UK garage and I'm discovering grime. So I'm listening to a lot of Dizzy Rascal, listening to a lot of Kano, listening to a lot of who else am I listening to? Wiley, and you know some of those big names and stuff like that. And I feel like things that really influenced me at that particular stage was all the other Birmingham MCs that were doing their thing. So you're talking about Triller, talking about the NODB, talking about there's so many names that I'm just lost.
Just reel them off, man, reel them off. These are all shout outs. Anyone's listening, this is your man. You know what I mean?
Like, talking about C4, because big up C4, man, is doing. I was gonna say,
didn't you drop a track recently?
Yeah, yesterday. No, the day before yesterday even, which was the 26th of August. For people that aren't listening to it right now.
That'll in the link in the description down below. Go check it out. It's a banger.
It's actually one of my favorite tunes at the moment. It's so good. But in terms of influences and stuff, just you got people like Frantic. You got people like I don't even know, man. It's just so many people. It's ridiculous. But like loads of Birmingham artists, loads of London artists and stuff like that just really influenced what I was doing at the time. Skepta, how could I forget? No, Frisco and all them people. It's just so many.
You just get a sense talking to you could just keep going all day long.
Keep
going.
And
that sort of says to me that you're not sort of like shutting anybody out. You're taking a little bit from every artist that's trying to impact you. Yeah.
Well, it's funny thing is that my music, like the stuff that I listen to, is just so all over the place. If you know what I mean, like people will be like, "What's your favorite song right now?" And I'll be like,
I don't get that question either. What's your favourite song? Are we 4 years old? Like,
you know what though? I ask people that all the time.
Oh shit!
The reason why is because it's really interesting to hear like what other people think is good. You can always have an idea of what you think is good, but when someone's like, "Yeah, I'm listening to this random artist that you've never heard of before," you're like, "Okay, I've never heard of that person." Then you go research it and it's like they're actually pretty good, you know. So because basically I went to Solihull sixth form college for the first college that I went to, and basically there's no black people there, so it's me and the basketball team. And I didn't play basketball, so I just ended
You're
up...
joking?
No,
not because you're black, because you're tall. You know what I mean?
I was all right at basketball.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that I wanted to pursue, so
Oh,
I just
so,
never
yeah,
did
yeah.
it. But then by default, because I was black and I was tall, I ended up chilling with the basketball team. So they was like, yeah, you're chilling with us. So when I went to Solihull sixth form, everyone else is white basically. So I ended up listening to and doing projects with a lot of white people that did like, you know, indie rock and heavy metal and all sorts of stuff that I wasn't really accustomed to. I mean, I'd listened to Nickelback, and I've listened to what are they called?
Let's think. People like Nickelback, is that the sort of area?
Yeah, and
Okay, the cogs are turning. Yeah.
you know what it is, yeah? People are gonna get offended if I say people like Nickelback, and then I end up coming up with Nirvana, and then be like, they're not like Nickelback. But
They're not. I think for anyone who's like into that kind of music, I mean, I've got a proper diverse taste in music. Yeah. To say those two are even similar, it's almost to say like.
There you go.
It's almost saying like just because you're on the basketball team, well, not hanging with the basketballers and you're tall, you're a basketballer. No, it no sense. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
But okay, so you like sort of with this group of people who just were not in the same music realm at all. Yeah. What honestly, what did you feel about that?
You know what? At first I was like, wow, this is a lot. You know what I mean? But I feel like as I started learning more about like different music and different cultures and stuff like that, it was actually a lot of fun, like integrating, because all of them was like they discovered I was a rapper, and all of them was like, you need to be on our song, and I was like, I don't rap to any level of rock, if you know what I mean. They were like, just follow the beat, like you'll be amazing. So I
think they had in their head that what's that Jay-Z song he did with Linkin Park,
Encore.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what was going to happen.
Bit of Link. What's it called? Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit, yeah. Yeah.
So
you had that integration period, and you said you enjoyed it in the end, after a while.
Yeah, man. Like I still talk to some of the guys that I met from college, and they're just like they do dance music and they do rock music, and we're always swapping information and like check out this song, and they're like check out this song. So
okay, so happy ending. Do you know what I mean? Not too bad, yeah. So that was going on. So you finished college. What's the next step there then?
So after I finished college, as I said though, I went Solihull sixth form first. Then I went back to college to do music production and sound engineering at Matthew Bolton, and then I went to uni, BCU, for like 2 years, and I was like, you know what, I hate studying now.
Oh, for real? Yeah. What were you studying?
I studied music production, sound engineering again, and I did like it. I liked elements of it, should I say. I liked being in the studio.
Yeah.
I liked building things. I liked fixing things. But then when it came to paperwork and trying to find out, you know, the reflections in the room based on the objects in the room on a mathematical scale, I was like, nah. I'm
sorry. So that has actually got something to do with the course, which was music. Yeah.
So basically, there's something called I'm not gonna go into it deep, but there's something called reverb time or RT60 or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like this like long mathematical equation, and based on what the floor is made out of, what the ceiling's made out of, what the walls are made out of, how big the room is, and what's in the room, it will basically determine how long and you know how intense a reverb.
I can see why you don't want to go into it too much.
Well, there you go, man. And I think it was studying that and studying post modulation code and stuff like that really just put me off uni, man.
Pulse modulation, flipping hell. Go on, just quickly. Pulse modulation, just quickly.
Mate, like,
just to send everyone to sleep.
I did a whole 3 months studying it, and even now I'm just like, yeah, I can't even really explain what that thing is.
Pulse modulation. Stay away from it, German.
It's basically to do with like the ones and zeros, like you know how a computer can read ones and zeros, and it's basically the code that builds a sound based on the ones and zeros digitally.
And you're telling me you didn't find that interesting? I think that's amazing.
It's interesting, but it's just, you know what I mean?
Leave it there. Yeah. All right, and so the course, not really, what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But being a creative mind, I feel that creative people almost naturally attract other creative people in general via the process of creation itself.
Yeah.
So, did you find anyone on the course or from the uni at that time who helped or you collaborated with?
No.
Okay, moving on.
Basically, I met a few good friends
Yeah.
that I still talk to from there, and I did some projects that we had to collaborate on.
Yeah.
I collaborated with one of my friends, but that didn't really go anywhere.
Right, okay.
Like we started something and then we just ended up it just didn't finish. So what's it called? I mean that was cool, but we didn't end up really making anything of it, if that makes sense. So everyone went their separate ways, but I still talked to a couple of them. And still, as I said before, like still swap songs that we've made and stuff, and we're like, yo, check this out, and we all still support each other and stuff, so that's cool.
At least you got that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so during that time, did you by yourself produce anything or create anything that was that you think noteworthy? Or at least any steps towards it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, college I was producing a lot. I was just producing song after song, just because I really enjoyed it. Uni, it felt like basically it was like, what does the boss man do on his day off? Like he doesn't drive the bus, if you know what I mean. When I was at uni, I was just like, I wasn't producing anything personal. I wasn't doing anything personal. I was just literally doing uni work and then going home and then going to work because I worked at the same time.
Yeah.
And then literally that was me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I might just like produce a song or do an event where I was doing the mixing for it, but doing my own personal projects and stuff, that it took a backbench in uni times, and I think that contributed to the fact why I didn't want to stay, if you know what I mean.
It took away from the actual thing.
It really destroyed I'm not putting people off uni, by the way. Uni's great, but for me, it just wasn't the right direction because it just wasn't making me happy at all. If you know what I mean. So
would you say that's something for the students to just sort of really consider who may be doing it for like art or music? Just make sure you look deep into it, because you're going to see some stuff that you might not even care about.
I feel like my honest answer is that if you want to be a creative, I wouldn't say no to uni, but just understand that there's things about being a creative that uni can never teach you, if you know what I mean. It's you've got to go out and experience the kind of creativity that you want to make. So like like a painter, uni can't teach you to paint. You see what I'm saying? It can say, this is how all the paintings were in the past, this is how you start a painting, this is how you sell a painting, blah 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 blah, but they can't tell you how to paint a picture that someone's gonna like, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So in terms of like music, you can't teach someone how to make a song that people are gonna like. You can only teach them, these are the songs that people like and this is how they made them, if that makes sense. Which is valuable information for me, it was anyway. I really enjoyed learning about how people came to where they are, if that makes sense. But when it came to my own personal stuff, uni didn't really help me a lot.
So what would you say to someone who wants to be a creative, maybe isn't too sure about what they want to do after college or high school, but they still want to pursue their passion, whether it be really anything to do with art? What would you say to them?
I would say, if you want to do it as a career, consider going uni, or at least studying to the point where you feel comfortable So for me, yeah, I could have stopped at college because I learned basically what I do now. I learned that at college.
Yeah.
So I mean, uni did teach me some extra stuff, but I could have realistically have just done college if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it's always clearer when you look back though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's
So-
one of them.
But even when I was in college, though, I had second thoughts about even bothering about uni because I just thought, yeah, basically I went uni because I knew I was capable of getting to uni, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people do that, where it's like, oh, I've got, a distinction or whatever, so I can get into this uni or that uni, and then they get there and they don't like it because realistically they never really wanted to go. I feel like if you want to go uni, go. If you don't want to go uni, then maybe wait and look back on whether you actually need to go,
Yeah.
or if it's beneficial for you, and then if it's not, I'm not going to say not to go, but
Just really think about it because it is a commitment that you're doing. It's probably like 2 to 4 years of your time. Do you know what I mean? Like depending on obviously what course you do.
Yeah.
So we're just saying consider it. I want to ask you a question that I asked Dr. Martin Brown on a previous podcast, and it was, in your perspective, what do you think about this statement? Students are almost like products on a conveyor belt going across the university process, getting a degree, and it's almost like they just throw you out the other side.
Well, I think my honest answer of that is that if you speak to people if you speak to people who, either just got jobs or searching for jobs or whatever.
This is straight out of uni looking for jobs.
Straight out of uni. Or people that haven't been, basically, if you speak to anyone that's in the process of working, a lot of them will say that the degree they got, or the degree they studied, or the degree that they want to study does not contribute to the job that they've either got or want. If you know what I mean. So you've got a lot of lawyers that are studying like random stuff.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of people studying law but have no intention of being lawyers. So it's really weird because it seems to me like having a degree is the name of the game.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what, and just get a degree.
Yeah. So a lot of employers will look at a resume and say, "Oh, he's got a degree," but it's got nothing to do with what he's applied for.
Yeah.
But he's shown that commitment for 3 years that he's gonna commit to something, and he's achieved.
It's just a tick in the box, isn't it? I guess sometimes.
For certain jobs. Whereas if you want to be a professional in a particular field, then you have to go uni realistically. If you want to be a scientist, you have to go uni. If you want to be a doctor, you have to go uni. If you see what I'm saying, you can't just be like, I'm gonna wing it and turn up to a surgery and cut someone open.
Well, you could. You'd probably be, putting sent down for it. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't suggest it. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. For things where you have to be a professional, then you have to go uni. But for things like arts and for things like
creative passions,
you know what I mean, things that are creative, then you as a person has to decide whether uni is what you want to go for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, that makes sense. Alright. So, uni's done now. We're done with uni. That's most of the education done.
Yeah, thanks. Let's get rid of that.
Went on for a while there. It was all good stuff. I think if any students are out there listening, you'll get something from that. You know what I mean? You'll get something.
Don't take my advice.
Oh dear. Alright then. So take it or leave it. His uni's done. What happens then?
So I'm still in work, part-time work. Met yourself.
Yeah.
Whilst I'm doing that, I'm still doing a bit of producing here and there, but starting to do a lot more engineering at that point. I feel like engineering came more of a passion. Actually, to be fair, even though I've just slated uni, it's probably uni where engineering became a bit more of a passion rather than production. Because I just liked putting vocals with a beat. I liked making them sound good. I liked taking something that sounded like trash and just completely transforming it, and then people being like, wow, that's the same song, you know what I mean? And I really enjoyed that element.
All right.
So coming out of uni, I'm starting to do more engineering type stuff, starting to do more gigs and things like that.
Okay, cool. Oh, so it started. Is that when you started doing gigs, or when you started doing them maybe more seriously? Or?
More seriously, because I was still in uni. To be fair, in college, I was doing little bits and bobs, like in terms of like, I was sorry, I didn't murder anyone. If that's
there was two women outside just screaming. They're miles away from us. We definitely didn't do anything. Please carry on, Stu.
I forgot what I was on about now.
Gigging.
Yeah, so doing little bits and bobs basically. People phone me up like, yeah, we need an engineer for this. Like, yeah, okay, cool, if you know what I mean. But it wasn't until after uni where I kind of took it a bit more seriously.
Okay.
I think that's the answer you're getting towards.
So, when would you say, okay, this is like when I need to prepare for this next show that's coming up, this is really big, I need to smash this? Can you think of the first time that sort of process went through your mind? Or would you just have an attitude like, every time I go on stage I want to get better?
That's a good question, actually.
Here we go. Let's have a good answer.
I feel like, for me, I always want to learn stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm always, even though, you know, I slaughtered down uni, I really like learning things.
Yeah.
So I think the first time that I really thought, yeah, like this is a major gig, it's when I've started working for a record label that produces gospel music, and they have like every so often they have like a major event called Affinity. Maybe people have heard of it, I don't know. So
shout out Affinity.
Yeah. So it's the record label's GL Records, GL 360 Records, and like basically one of my friends from school that I mentioned earlier, he was like, yeah, I know this guy called Raja, and he's got a studio, and these times I didn't work in a studio or anything, so I was just trying to get experience in studios, and I was like, yeah, would you introduce me to him? He was like, yeah, that's cool. So one of the times we just flew up to Huckley and went to the studio, and like Roger's a really nice guy. He was like, my friend was like, yeah, this is Stephen. Roger was like, oh, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, come to the next Affinity. And I was like, he knows nothing about my credentials, doesn't know what I'm capable of, doesn't know any music that I've done in the past. He was just like, yeah, you're on the team. So
very, very nice guy.
So we did a gig at the Drum, which is sadly closed down now. Like Drum, very reputable place. Everyone knows the Drum. Everyone's that's kind of big in Birmingham's either been to the Drum or done something at the Drum. So I was like, wow, you know, the Drum.
So that was very meaningful to be there, basically.
To me, it was like, I've never done a venue that has such significance before, if you know what I mean. Like I've done churches, I've done halls, I've done little bits here and there, and blah blah blah, I've done pubs and stuff like that. But then I've never been in a actual place that is dedicated to sound and music, if that makes sense.
So let's just take this then. So I'm guessing you're about to go on stage, yeah? So about 5 minutes before you go on stage, what's going through your mind then? How are you preparing for this?
So, I mean, when I was doing the Drum, it wasn't so much me being on stage, it was me doing engineering and the technical side of things. But in terms of like, because you have to get there a few hours before sound check and stuff like that. And I think like in my head I'm thinking, well, I know theoretically what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
but practically this is the first big gig that I've done. So I'm sitting there thinking, have I got the right stuff? Is it gonna sound correct? Is it gonna sound like this? Is it gonna sound like that?
Yeah.
Am I gonna plug it in and it's just gonna sound like buzz? If you know what I mean. So I was nervous. Raj Raj was like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. And he's got this phrase where he's like, because I'd like, basically we were running quite small like technical setup, and he was like, I was saying to Raj, Raj, we don't have this wire for this like really important thing. And he was like, let me have a look. And he just look at it and be like, yeah, man, you just gangster it up. Just do this and you just plug this into this and then just, you know what I mean? And
so he was just calm as anything.
It was calm as anything, and I feel like I learned so much through working with him, especially troubleshooting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this doesn't work. He was like, yeah, you just, you know what I mean? And just so I learned a lot basically. So how I felt then is I was really nervous, but it just ended up being a great gig. So I feel like it just cemented in my head that, you know, I'm capable of what I put my mind to, and that I still had things to learn. I wasn't, you know, in any way the best engineer out there. But so that was that.
Oh, nice one, man. Decent story, that is. I think for anyone who's trying to sort of do anything in that direction, they can definitely learn a lot from you talking about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you do want to, you know, contact Stephen or whatever, we'll see what we can do, because I'm guessing after this, he knows what he's on about. I'm guessing he'd make a good mentor. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. Maybe not, man.
Woo!
Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. That's the impression I get anyway. So that was sort of like the big moment, if you like, from the engineering point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And then tell me about, from that moment, how you go on to basically produce, or mix rather, for the song that you said came out recently, Block and Delete. I'll leave a link for that in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the journey from getting to that stage?
So okay, basically from that gig, did a few other gigs for the GL team, and met an artist called Nisheng, and I produced the EP for him. Produced. I mixed and engineered his EP. Recorded, mixed, engineered, mastered it. So through that, I met his friend C4.
Yeah.
And because everyone's giving it positive praise and stuff like that, and met C4, and you know, like I didn't really speak to him too tough at the start, and you know, we didn't really do anything musical between me and C. But I always wanted to work with him, but I just never approached him because I thought it'd be like, nah, you know what I mean, you're not really known like that or whatever. So but anyway, so then we ended up talking as friends, and I was like, yeah, I engineer, and he was like, oh, okay, cool. He didn't really touch on it. He was like, yeah, might work together one day, and he was kind of like, yeah, you know what I mean, like it was kind of like. So
it was like maybe starting to gel.
Yeah. So we were friends, and I felt like he was. At first, I kind of felt like he was like, yeah, we'll do something together just because we were friends, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then one day, like basically what came to the Block and Delete, obviously I've done a few projects since then, so you know, he's heard of some of the stuff that I've done and blah blah blah. And I was chilling one day, and to be fair, he'd already sent me some stuff that he wanted me to mix, and I was taking my time with it because he didn't really give me a fixed date and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do a bit here, a bit there, and whatever. And we was talking backwards and forth, and then one day he's texted me and he said, oh bro, I need to talk to you. So I was like, oh, he's gonna ask me about this song that I'm meant to have mixed for him for like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I texted him back and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that song, man, don't worry about it. And he was like, nah, what are you doing right now? So I was like, oh, I'm just chilling right now, you know what I mean? He was like, let me phone you. So he phoned me and he was like, I've got a song that I need you to mix tonight. And I was like, tonight? This is like mid-afternoon, you know. It's late, like early evening. He's just like, yeah, tonight.
And
so
you said it normally takes what, like 2-3 days to.
Well, for me, I always like I'll start a mix and get it to like pretty much like where I'm happy. Then I'll come back another day and I'll listen to it and be like, oh, I want to change this, I want to change that. And then I'll probably take another day and I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty good. Let me just finish it and send it to.
So when this guy says at midday he wants it done, what's going through your head then?
I'm thinking, yo, I ain't got the time. You know what I mean? And quite a lot of doubt was going through my head because I was thinking, am I gonna be able to do it? Is it gonna be good? You know what I mean? But I was like, I'm capable. Obviously, at this stage, I know I'm capable of producing something great. So I was like, all right, then, safe. You know what I mean? I asked my wife and I was like, yeah, do you think I should do this? And she was like, yeah, just go for it. So I was like, okay, then, safe. So I texted him back. I said, okay, then, cool, I'll do it.
Oh, you said, okay.
And then he was like, yeah, I'm going to send through the track now. So he sent it me. And I just got up, went on my computer, and I was like, okay, let me listen to this. And I was like, yeah, sounds pretty decent, you know what I mean? And then what ended up happening was, like, it was him, he had the video shoot the next day.
Right.
So he needed the track to be, like, pretty good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily 100% completed, but he needed it to be, like, in the correct time and sound, like, pretty decent and stuff by the next day. So I worked on it till probably, like, I'm going to say, like, 12, and then I sent it to him and he said, could you change this and change that? So I worked on it again until about 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I've got to be up for 6 to go to London. So I was like, okay, I got to finish this. So so yeah, it's probably about 1:30 and I sent it to him and he was like, yeah, this sounds good. Yeah, we can run with this. So he went to London the next day, shot the video with Lady Leshurr. And then I was like, yeah, there's lots of stuff that I still want to do with the song. So he was like, yeah, that's cool. We'll shut the video now. So, yeah, just get it out. So I'm backwards and forth in it. I'm fixing the song like every day, basically. Yeah. And he's really picky. Like, I say picky, sorry. Very particular about how he wants things, if you know what I mean. Which is great. And I said to him from the start, be particular as possible because me personally, I hate sending out a project that people are like listening back to it, I don't like it or whatever. You want someone to say this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I've asked for, this is exactly what I paid for, this is exactly what I expect, you see what I'm saying? So me and him are backwards and forth and I'm sending him, he's listening to it, he's saying, yeah, change this. I'm sitting there like, oh God, then I'm fixing it, sending it back to him and stuff like that. Anyway, song got completed, sent it him. It was like, wow, this is great. You know what I mean? Like, this is like one of the best mixes that I've heard for a while. So I was like, in my head, I was thinking, wow, like, okay, I wasn't expecting that at all. But then I was like, yeah, I'm happy with it. If you're happy with it, he said, yeah, it's amazing. So that was that, man. It got released 2 days ago, which is the 26th of August. And listen to it, guys. Listen to it. I've heard it myself. It's a banger. I checked this morning on how many views it had, and it was like 27k or something like that. 27k, yeah. And I was sitting there thinking, wow, like that's crazy. Like 27,000 people that song has been played 27,000 times and not one negative comment on it. Oh, for real? Yeah, nothing negative. Not that I've seen anyway. I scrolled through the comments because I'm like, I want feedback. I want people to say this is wrong with it. Nothing, man. You know, something like what that one hater who lives in a basement with his mum. He's like, oh, I hate this. No friends whatsoever. Knows nothing about music. So, you'd always get one dickhead. Alright, fair enough then. So that's what 2-3 days ago, did you say? Yeah, 2 days ago, 26th of August. 26th of August, alright. Well, let's get some views on that, guys. If anyone's still about, definitely get some listening to that. Yeah, man. So
let's go to. Okay. We're going to do them. We'll talk about. I know you're a guy who's into boxing.
Yeah.
You can talk boxing, do you know what I mean?
Love it, man.
What the fuck's going on with heavyweights?
Listen,
do you know what I mean? What's going
mate,
on?
I only just watched the White and Parker fight last night.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, yo, like the start of the fight was an absolute shambles in terms of like Dylan was like, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
He was like tripping over himself.
It did not look sharp whatsoever.
I was like, what's going on? And then Parker was looking really sharp at the start, and then he just got absolutely destroyed at some stages and stuff like that. Anyway, so and then oh my gosh, I wanted to really watch AJ versus Wilder.
Yeah.
And that's not happening.
I was going to say Wilder. Well, apparently the deal's done with Wilder and Fury, and there was meant to be details released this week. No details. Where are the details?
I watched Fury and what's the other guy's name?
Pinchetta.
It just looked like it was a mess, man.
Yeah, it wasn't really.
I was like, what am I watching?
Do you think if Tyson Fury goes on to fight Wilder in December or possibly a bit later in February, do you think that Tyson Fury has really got a chance against Deontay Wilder?
I feel like the Tyson Fury that I saw fight the other day has a lot of work to do before he can step to someone like Wilder, because I feel like Wilder's got because obviously Fury's quite tall, he's got quite a big reach.
Big boy, and he's 6'9", yeah.
But you know, Dante's also quite a big guy.
What is 6'7", I think Deontay is, yeah.
Yeah, he's quite tall, he's got quite a long reach, it's quick.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury right now is not quick.
He's not quick at all. I mean, if you look, what I was thinking to some of my friends when we watched it was basically, we want to see Tyson Fury who outpointed Klitschko.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what we want to see.
Exactly.
And it's not that whatsoever.
It's really not that right now. And I haven't actually looked at the training videos or whatever. Normally I'd watch like the pre-training stuff
Get
or
into
anything.
It, like.
But all I can say is the Tyson Fury that I saw fight the other day is like, that was just a mess, man.
I was going to say, like, it went 10 rounds, he didn't put a foot wrong, but the opponent, I wasn't really up to scratch. However, I do believe that, you know, as a serious boxing fan, that if Tyson Fury can have, I believe, 2 more sort of warm-up fights, slowly going up, he could have a chance at going all the way. And as a fan, I really want him to. It's my favourite fighter out there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? How do you think he would do? Let's just go into hypothetical land just for a second.
Okay.
If this guy, Tyson Fury, was an exact carbon copy of the one for Klitschko, would he beat firstly Deontay and secondly AJ? Because that's the fight everybody wants to see right now.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, we'll start with Deontay first.
Yeah.
We'll start with that. So thoughts on that?
I basically I'm really liking Deontay right now.
Yeah.
Tyson in his prime, he's got a good chance. He does have a good chance.
You're tilting towards Deontay.
I'm quite biased because I'm really enjoying Deontay's fights.
Yeah. He is an exciting fighter. I mean, did you watch the Luis Ortiz fight?
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Because my opinion was, for a long period of time, he was getting outboxed by Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just gets through that storm where he was almost getting knocked out. And next thing you know,
he just came back.
Luis Ortiz's chin just went straight to China. Do you know what I mean?
The thing about Wilder is that the second that it's a bit like you know, old school Tyson.
Yeah.
The second you think you've won, you've lost, because he'll just hit you with something that you wasn't expecting, and then you're just on the floor and you're thinking, how did that even happen? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like Wilder's a bit like that, where Ortiz was definitely outboxing him.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where I thought, yo, he's not gonna make it. And then I feel like as soon as Ortiz got a bit comfortable, Wilder just came with an energy that I don't think anyone expected him to have, and he just threw a few strong right hands, and that was it, man.
That's the difference, isn't it? Like, a champion just finds a way to win, like, no matter what.
Well, you have to rise and overcome it, man. You can't stumble and think, oh, I've lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in a heavyweight fight. Like if it was a welterweight fight and everyone's trying to go the distance, yeah, like you just need to pull back them points, if you know what I mean. But if it's a heavyweight fight, one punch can make the complete difference.
Yeah, because these are big guys, do you know what I mean?
You know
These
what I mean?
heavyweights.
These are guys throwing like pressure that's like literally like getting hit by a
for
car.
those who's never done anything to do with boxing or like you know, maybe athletes but not necessarily involved with boxing, when you go the average person, I was going to say we'll just go for a middleweight for example. If you went and had an amateur fight with somebody around that weight, you would understand how it feels to get hit by somebody of that weight. But when we're talking about these heavyweights, we're talking about guys who are 15, 16. I think Tyson's last fight was 18 stone. And the amount of pressure that can be hit, even though it looks like it's a tap, is unreal.
Well, the fact that you can hear the connections on the stage microphones, and it's like boom, and you're just thinking, imagine getting hit by that. You know what I mean?
It's a train, isn't it? And we're talking about power. Okay, so we're talking about Deontay. Let's talk about power. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua. This guy is a genetic animal.
Yeah,
he's an animal.
He's just prime. He's very prime right now.
Yeah.
And he's got the height, he's got the reach, he's got the strength, he's got the speed. He's not the fastest, especially in the last couple of fights. He was a bit sluggish.
Okay.
Versing Parker was way faster.
Yeah.
So I feel like because Deontay has got quite a lightning kind of punch.
Athletic freak as well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I feel like speed, Deontay might have it.
Yeah.
Power, similar, but AJ is very technical. That's the difference. Wilder's a brawler.
Yeah,
He'll just go in there and he'll punch you out. But AJ can fight very technically. Even though, he's won by knockout the majority of the time. Yeah. But I feel like when he fought Parker, he knew that he had the opportunity to be outboxed. Yeah, so he fought very technical in that fight. So
he also dropped a lot of weight for that fight as well. Like obviously AJ is massive and ripped, but for that you could see he dropped down quite a bit because he needed that speed. He's got the ring IQ, but the speed is something that he could always improve by losing that weight. Yeah, definitely. And so who's gonna win then? AJ or Deontay? It's gonna happen soon. Maybe not as soon as we would like, but who would you go for?
It's definitely close. I've wrestled with it for a while, man.
Okay.
Every time I watch either of them fight, I'm like, yeah.
And the conclusion of that fight was?
I'm gonna say I'm really loving AJ.
Oh.
I'm really loving AJ right now.
No buts, just AJ?
I'm going to leave it there because I'll end up going into it too much and then I'll change my mind and then I'm really loving AJ right now.
The fact it's such a toss-up though, do you know what I mean, is saying how alive the division's been, do you know what I mean? And when they do fight, it's going to be an amazing night for everyone, especially the casuals, etc.
I'm expecting great things from that fight, man. It's either going to be a spectacular knockout or it's going to be a great longevity fight. Yeah. And neither one of them is really the kind of person that likes to go over 7 rounds. So I'm expecting a spectacular knockout on one of their parts.
Well, there's just too much power in there. I mean, someone's got to go.
Someone's got to go. Once one person throws a heavy, someone else is going to throw a heavy. So, yeah. I
can't wait for it though. Honestly, as a boxing fan, I cannot wait for it.
You know me, I'm very excited for that fight, man.
Do you know that cheesy grin he has on his face? It's about 10 times the size right now.
It's in full effect right now.
Yeah. Alright then. So that's boxing, a bit about your past, a bit about your music. So we're getting close to sort of about the hour mark roughly, I think. So what I like to do, I guess, is go into some philosophical questions. Alright?
Okay.
I know you can go on that level, so let's go to it. So the first one of 3. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Well, I'm 26 right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 27 October. So, 6-7 years ago, that's a good one,
I know, yeah. I always get different responses, so this will be interesting.
I'd probably say to myself, don't be afraid, and don't ever feel like you're not as good as you know you're capable of being, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So the reason why I say that is because when I was about 20, I would say I was in a lot of doubt in terms of like what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, how good I was at certain things, and whether people would recognize me for like different things, music and stuff like that. And even in relationships and stuff like that, I was just like, I'm just it's just long right now. But if I spoke to my 20-year-old self, I would definitely say, yo, just keep doing what you're doing, stay focused. If anything, do more of what you're doing.
Just keep doing what you're into.
Yeah. Do what you love. Make sure you enjoy it. Don't sacrifice what you love for money or like opportunities that aren't following the path that you want to follow. You know what I mean? Just do what makes you happy.
That's almost exactly saying what a philosopher called Alan Watts, I'll leave a link to the video down below, but he was basically saying if you follow your passion and become a master, you'll be doing something that you love, but you'll be that experienced in it that people will come to you and you can earn money that way.
Well, that's what I'm starting to discover now. Where it's literally like based on this Black and Delete song, like I hadn't really actually mixed anything or engineered anything for a little while, and it's in people's memories. They're like, that guy was good, if you know what I mean. So let me just holler at him, see what he's saying. And it's only because I was friends with C why I decided I'll do it, if you know what I mean. Otherwise I probably would have turned it down, but in a way it helped me and him, because it got me back on the mindset that I was like, I'm actually good at this thing. Why am I not continuously doing it? And for him it was like, like I found an engineer that had free time to do this project. You know
it's a win-win situation.
So it was very win-win, you know what I mean? And even when he was like, I got more songs for you, I was like,
so expect more to come, listeners. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be a hell of a duo.
Well, we'll see if I got time to do it, because he was saying that he wants some stuff done pretty soon, and I was like, I don't know if I can make that time frame.
I see.
You know what I mean? So someone else might do that project, but definitely more from me soon.
So long as you're staying on it, I guess. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Good answer. So, second question. This is one that gets probably the most interesting response.
Okay.
What brings you the most joy in life? It can be one thing, it could be a couple of things. Okay.
I'll start off by saying I'm a Christian, so I really love spending time with God and praying and spending time with other Christians and stuff like that. That brings me a lot of joy. But I think if we're not talking, religiously or whatever, I really love listening to music. Obviously, I really love. If we're talking about what brings me the most joy, I really like. It sounds really weird. I really like spending time by myself and reflecting on things that I could do, or things that I have done, or things that I could do better.
I think that's something that a lot of people are missing. A lot of people who I've met who are always on the go and never have time to think. You're missing time to improve on what you've done and what you can do better next time. So I completely understand that. Do you know what I mean? You say it's a bit weird, but if you've got that time and you use it like that, you'll understand the benefits of it. Do you know what I mean?
So like, if you're close to me, you know, I self-reflect a lot. Like, I'm always constantly thinking about how I can improve, how I can change something, whether this was good enough and what I could have done to make it better, and stuff like that. I'll sit for ages and just literally think about things and write things down, and stuff like that. So, I mean, it sounds like it's not enjoyable, but for me, it gives me such satisfaction when I sit there and think, I've got the next stage clocked, you know what I mean? And it's just, that's what probably brings me a lot of joy.
I think having a plan has got to be essential, because imagine going through life sort of like without small sort of destinations as to where you want to go. You're sort of like just in the wind, do you know what I mean? Like, wherever you're going, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I understand that. That's a unique answer, that is. Yeah, interesting.
I like to be different sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. And here we go then. So I've had a great podcast, considering everything that we said, and assuming that we don't know who the listener is, what would be your final message to the listeners?
You know what's funny, before I say that, is that when you contact me to do this podcast, I was like, what am I going to talk about for half an hour? And now we're like hour and 10 minutes in, and I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
It flies by, that's what I'm here for, do you know what I mean?
My final message to whoever's listening, if you're still listening.
And if you are, thank you.
It would be... always learn from life, man, and just be happy no matter what, because I feel like in this day and age there's so many people that are unhappy for different reasons, whether it's in your job or whether it's you've got an issue, like a personal issue, or you've got family issues or whatever. I see a lot of people that are unhappy, and I feel like in order to tackle that, you have to have the mentality that I'm gonna just be positive at all times.
Positive attitude.
Obviously, like some situations are really, bad, and it's hard to be positive in certain situations. But there's always a silver lining in every situation, and always grip onto the things that are positive and focus on expanding the positive and shunning the negative. Is probably my final message to whoever's listening.
Wow, there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. Thank you very much for coming on, Steve.
You're
Steve
welcome.
Daniel, Fitz The Engineer.
Fitz The Engineer, man.
Go check him out. I'll leave all of his links in the description below. Thanks for doing this. We're out.
Any questions? Fitz The Engineer on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you know what I mean. Email me, fitztheengineer@gmail.com, whatever, I don't really mind. That's cool. Shout me out.
Sorted. That'll do, guys. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Alex and the Message. If you stayed to the end, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for weekly uploads. For regular updates, you can also follow me on social media, firstly on Twitter as A.A.TM, and also on Instagram as AlexAndTheMessage. Thanks for listening and have a great day.